Welcome back. More and more Americans are looking to move to Canada, and who can blame them? But there are several things to consider before making a cross-border move. We'll now discuss what those are with cross-border specialist Gerry Scott. Gerry, welcome to the show.
Hi, Sybil. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking.
So what are some of the main reasons Americans want to move to Canada?
Well, I think the big thing is the American dollars go a lot further than Canadian dollars. So there's a 25% premium when they move up to Canada here. Healthcare obviously is pretty big. We're hearing horror stories of the cost of medical expenses in the States. So I think Canada is seen as being a lot bigger or a lot more attractive than maybe the Americans would have it currently.
And don't forget about the stories of falling in love and moving because someone special has lured you away.
Yes, it works both ways. There's a lot of Canadians going down south, but what we are finding though is that there's a lot of reasons why the Americans are coming up to Canada. And like as mentioned, if they are married to a Canadian spouse, we're seeing people come up to Canada to look after ailing parents. And once again, I think Canada is just it can be just a nicer place.
So is it easy for people to make that move? Can they just pack up and cross the border and live in Canada?
Yes and no. For some, depending on the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement, there are options available for those highly educated. If you're being transferred by your employer up to Canada where that job can't be filled by a Canadian, you have those circumstances. But it depends on the individual. And, once again, I think people have to work with the right immigration person and they'll be able to point in the right direction or provide them with the best experience possible.
So, Gerry, how long does it typically take to go through the process and everything involved to make a move from the U.S. to Canada?
Depending on the immigration lawyers you're working with, sometimes it can be very quick. And when I say quick, that could be 12 to 16 months. And other cases, we're hearing that it does drag on. So you have to make sure you get the right people working for you.
And is it expensive?
You know what? Once again, you get what you pay for. I mean, we're hearing stories that some people are filing documents on their own, and that could cost you a couple $1,000s. But if you go through an immigration lawyer, you get what you pay for. And if you do it on your own, you get what you pay for.
Hey, but it costs money to live in paradise. So you just got to pay up sometimes, I guess.
That is so true.
So what are some of the other challenges and complications people may face? I remember hearing something about a gradual application process and you have to spend so many days and track the number of days. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, once you're granted your permanent residence card, some people call it the Maple card, you're required over the next 5 years to spend 1,095 days in Canada. And if you have to physically be present in Canada for those 1,095 days, once you've done that, well, then it can lead to permanent citizenship.
So how do you get a permanent residency card? Was that the part we spoke of earlier through immigration lawyers that can take a while?
That is correct.
Okay,
That's
so you
correct.
get through that hoop. Then for the next 5 years, you got to track your days and you have to meet that minimum. How do people keep track and how often do they need to file that and with who?
Well, there's a couple of ways. I mean, obviously, you want to be able to make sure you're maintaining a relationship with your immigration immigration lawyer. The other thing is we've designed an app called the Canada Physical Presence Tracker, which basically is available to all the immigration lawyers in Canada. They pass it on to their clients, and this is just a nice way to track your days. And if you don't do it through the app, you're going to have to use the old spreadsheet.
Well, there's an app for everything.
There's an app for everything.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, what about their investment accounts? If I've got a retirement account in the U.S. and I'm moving to Canada, can I bring it with me?
Well, you're going to find, depending on who you talk to, there's some advisors that are licensed on both sides of the border, and they're going to tell you that you should keep your accounts in the States. The problem is that as soon as you have a Canadian address, the U.S. brokerage firms basically, they call you up, they give you 40 days, and they basically tell you have to move to your account. So there are some advisors out there in Canada that are licensed on both sides of the border, And we can take care of that for those individuals. Now, you're also hearing stories that some Canadian advisors believe that what you should do is cash in your IRA, roll it into your RSP, credits will offset the two. Now, in some cases, it does work, and there are advantages to doing it. But we believe that if you trap an American in a higher tax jurisdiction, it might be disadvantage for them down the road if they ever decide to move back to the United States.
Well, Gerry, thanks for sharing these words of wisdom and all these tips for Americans moving to Canada. Been great having you here.
Thank you. Thank you, Sybil.
And stay tuned. We'll cover the best pension options after the break.
The Wealthy Life is brought to you by investment dealer Raymond James. Life well planned. See what a Raymond James advisor can do for you.